I'm John Shubert, and I am the first man to break the 3-hour barrier for 100 miles. In a Road Record Association attempt this year, I covered 100 miles in 2 hours, 57 minutes and 58 seconds. Time trialling is something I've done for years. Riding a bike is something I've done for years. I've been the British 24-hour time trial champion. I've been the British best all-rounder. And the longer distance time trials are something that I specialise in, that I focus on. My job is as a science teacher, and a very strange masochistic part of me that treats this kind of riding as a giant science project. The longer you go, especially up towards being on a bike for a whole day or further, the components that you really have to consider beyond how hard your legs can push on the pedals, like nutrition, the diet, aerodynamics is a very big part of this. It's not just about being a phenomenal athlete. One of my passions is building bicycles. I think it was something I did as a young man or a boy that helped me bond with my father, spending weekends pouring the rain outside in the garage, fixing people's bicycles, building wheels, learning the trade. I'm from a family of cyclists, and some people knit, some people do all sorts of things for therapy, but for me, I just disappear into the garage late at night and strip some hub bearings down, or that's my therapy, almost like running rosary beads through my hands or something like that. So my bike isn't the newest bike in the world, and I appreciate that there's some fast equipment out there you can buy, but some of the old stuff is also fast if you can get yourself into the right position. So my bicycle the frame itself is over a decade old, but it was a cutting edge. It was ahead of its time when it was made, and it allows me to get into the position that I need to be aerodynamically efficient. It's about the right positions, moving the airflow in the right way, and having transmission that is efficient and works. This is what inspired me when I was a kid. I was 6 years old, and I'd walk into my grandparents' house and I'd look up at the wall and see these and other medals hanging there, and this is my grandfather, his hard work and his effort displayed there. Lovely history. It's great to look at those occasions and see what's engraved on the back. These are some of my national champs medals that I've won over the years. The Hope Route time trial earlier this year in Oman. Nice glass trophy for that. And this is for my British best all-rounder last year. And this is the medal that goes with it, and durations engraved on there. Pretty special to me. When I won the British best all-rounder in 2019, it was the 100-mile time trial that secured that for me. And on a course that was out and back, I averaged over 30 miles an hour, which only 4 other people had ever done. I was very, very close to the competition record. And that got me thinking, there's this organisation, the RRA, that have been around since the 1800s, and they've been tracking the progress of riders, how fast a rider can go over various set distances and place-to-place records. If everything's favourable, we have a unidirectional course, how fast can I go? What is possible? So it began looking at the details, finding exactly the right course, finding exactly the right weather, making sure I was as aerodynamic as I could possibly be, making sure that I had the right level of fitness that I need to have, making sure I had the right support team, I had the right nutrition. Every little detail. I knew this was not going to be an easy thing to do. So I made that the goal of my season. I was racing throughout the season. I had a couple of really good results. I managed to come third in the national 12-hour time trial in a very close-fought race. I was only 3 miles off the winning distance. I was riding a lot of long-distance time trials, which turned into great preparation for the 100-mile record that I set. One of those was the BDCA 100 at the end of the year. I ended up coming fourth, and I knew I could do a lot better than that. And I think perhaps, if anything, that gave me more fire in my belly to really go out and attack the all-out 100-mile record. That was the priority, that was the main focus. For the racing that I've done this year and for the 100-mile record, I was using the Santini Viper suit, which is much faster than anything else I've ever raced in. It's been absolutely brilliant. They're using different panels, different materials on the suit to do very clever things to the air. It's been really cleverly tested in the wind tunnels. And it allows me to get into positions that in other clothing wouldn't be fast, positions where I can generate more power. Really comfortable suit. I have no issues wearing one of those for 12 hours in a race. So it's ticking all the boxes. The Santini clothing that I'm wearing when I'm racing is a fundamental part of that record, and I can guarantee you, without wearing a suit like that, I wouldn't have broken the 3-hour barrier. The record wasn't without its difficulties. I had an issue with my rear derailleur, which meant that I was stuck in one gear. Because of the nature of the course and not being completely flat, wasn't ideal. There were points where my leg speed was reaching 120 revolutions a minute, which is fine if you're a track rider, track pursuiter, but I hadn't trained like that. And that did catch up with me later in the record, and there were other points where I was grinding up hills and my legs weren't spinning at much more than 60 RPM. The most important thing that I had to keep reminding myself, the aerodynamics is far more important than the power you're creating. So even when I was in difficulties, it was keeping my head down, keeping tucked in, remaining in that aerodynamic position. Otherwise, I was fairly lucky with traffic, junctions, and no, absolutely delighted with the time. I didn't really mind how far I dipped below that 3-hour barrier. It was just the goal of getting there, and it all came together on the day, one way or another.